All right, as we get started tonight, I'd like to bring up, sorry. Good evening, everybody. Before we get started, I'd like to bring up Mr. Lynn Childers, who will lead us in our invocation.
Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight and we just pray that dear Lord, and we can come together and talk about our great city. We pray that you bless this city for years to come. Be with the first responders of the city, police, and our troops overseas. Bless this day and let's come together. In your heavenly name we pray. Amen.
Ask Keith Merle to lead us in our pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Before we get started, I'd like to go ahead and recognize our city council members that are seated up here, looking out to you all from left to right. Ms. Michelle Taylor, Ms. Mona Underwood, Mr. Ben Blackwell, and Ms. Brandy Riley. So, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and beloved citizens of Rincon, welcome to the inaugural State of the City address. Tonight, we gather residents, not just as residents of the city, but as stakeholders in a shared vision of progress, unity, and prosperity. It's truly a new season in our great city. As we embark on this journey together, let us reflect on our past accomplishments, acknowledge our present challenges, and envision an even brighter future for our beloved city of Rincon. Alan Watts once said, the only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and just join the dance. So thank you for joining us on this momentous occasion. And right now, I have the honor of turning it over to our Mayor Pro Tem, Kevin Exley, who's going to share with everyone some valuable insights and exciting things to come in Rincon. So please join us in welcoming him up and turn it over to him.
So I've got this typed out. I'm going to read it because I didn't want to miss on anything, so I can stand up here and probably talk all night about stuff that don't mean anything. But I want to make sure that that this was typed out so we can go over everything that's happening in the city. And like Jonathan said, I think one of our biggest problems is we never communicated the things that we've done, annually here in the city. So this is a good time to talk about the positive things because I feel like this council has been really busy over the past, 6 months. It's been 6 months and it feels like 6 years. But anyway, I'm gonna get started with this and just bear with me. I'm gonna read through this thing and we'll get through it. As we gather here today, I'm honored to address you on our state of our beloved city. It's a moment to reflect on our achievement, acknowledge our challenges, and chart a course for our collective future. The Rincon Way. This is a term fostered by our city leadership team that has few simple meanings. Do it right the first time, a best practice, common sense, and lastly, as Councilwoman Ms. Taylor would say, if you see trash on the ground, pick it up. And it's just as plain as that from her. So, first and foremost, I'm proud to say that Rincon continues to thrive in many ways. Our community spirit remains unwavering, with neighbors supporting each other through thick and thin. Our local businesses are the lifeblood of our economy, driving growth and innovation. In the past, officials have talked about smart growth. Okay, we've heard that a lot. I ran on smart growth at the time. I don't really know if I knew what smart growth was until now. But a lot of the current duplicate businesses in our town are things that we couldn't control because of zoning. But we're looking to, moving forward, our vision is to not have duplicate businesses in the same vicinity. And we want to give different businesses an opportunity to come into the city. So together, we can build that city that we can all be proud to call home. You all, the voters, have used your collective voices over the last year to let us know that you want to change. Movement and input on the future of this city. We hear you, and we are working diligently each and every day to put systems in place to make our future as bright as it possibly can be. However, it would be remiss of me not to acknowledge the hurdles we face. Like many communities, Lincoln is not immune to the trials of our times. We confront issues such as diversity of housing choices, infrastructure and development, and environmental sustainability. These challenges demand our attention and concerted efforts to overcome them. When it comes to housing choice, we recognize the need to ensure that all residents have access to safe and affordable homes, as we hear a lot from Ms. Riley. We've talked about single moms, we've talked about single parents, we've talked about, new teachers coming into town and nowhere to live, those type of things. So we're committed to working with developers, local organizations, and government agencies to address this pressing issue. By fostering partnerships and implementing creative solutions, we can make strides toward a more inclusive and equitable Lincoln. With housing in mind, so this is kind of big because this is something I didn't know until we got in office, that this was a part of the formula. With housing in mind, it takes new residents to increase our sales tax percentage from the county, okay? So we cannot collect more if our city does not grow. So we have to grow, we can't be stagnant. When I was previously on, we had 11,500 people. I think we got 11,700 now, or somewhere around there. So that means that we're really not growing that much. Everything's growing outside of us. So we use that sales tax to manage our no property tax model. Annexation is a great tool to add additional property so that we can create more housing for future growth. It's a balance that we're prepared to manage. And now, with the current change with the county, I think we have someone in there that has common sense ideas that wants us to be able to annex things into the city. Okay? So, City Council has authorized staff to proceed on working with separate firms to update both the city's comprehensive plan and create a unified development ordinance. Each of these vital documents create frameworks on how we want our city to grow and develop moving forward. We started this. We're a huge part of it. We have had stakeholder meetings. We have done all types of things to make sure that this comprehensive and UDO plan works like it should. Okay. And they'll both be adopted later this year, right? Infrastructure development is another area of focus for us. From roads to transportation to walkability, infrastructure forms the backbone of our city. We're investing in projects that will improve connectivity, enhance mobility, and lay the groundwork for future growth by modernizing our infrastructure. We're laying the foundation for a vibrant and resilient Lincoln. So one of the things that we have pressed is the Effingham County Transportation Board that we have. It's an advisory board. Now we have representation there. We were getting hit and miss when people could make it. Now we will not miss that. We have council members involved. I think Ms. Underwood, Mr. Blackwell both attend, and instead of me being on that board, I pass that over to our city manager so that we make sure that somebody's going to be there. These meetings are not long, short meetings, things that we can go in and ask tough questions about traffic and what our legislators are doing to handle the growth that they're placing on us. Because a lot of this growth is being placed on us by what is built around us, okay? So in 2023, county voters approved the renewal of our T-Splosh. This additional penny tax on goods purchased anywhere in Effingham County will contribute to over $20 million to Lincoln throughout its lifespan. This is huge for the city of Rankin, because before, we were dipping into our funds to get roads done. We were dipping into our sales tax and whatever else we had coming in to be able to recondition a road. Now we have a way to get that without adding property tax. Okay? We'll be using these funds on road improvement, sidewalk construction, nature trails, and much more. We'll be starting on projects using this funding source later this year. We have used previous T-SPLOST funds to improve roads and most recently install sidewalks on Highway 21. So that you see going on, and Fort Howard Road. And, you know, instead, we're not having to pick and choose what we want to do. So we're using that instead of using our other monies. Our goal is to continue to make Rankin connected with itself. It has not been an overnight success, but we assure you that we are committed to moving projects forward as quickly as we are able. I always said that city government moves slow. City government moves slow because the people in the city government move slow. So if we want to move things in the city, we have to vote. We have to be there. We have to know what's going on. And I think we have a committed council to doing that now. Environmental sustainability is not just a buzzword. It's a value that guides our actions. As stewards of this beautiful city, we have a responsibility to seek innovative ways to protect and preserve our natural resources for future generations. We're looking at ways to create natural attractions that showcase the beauty of the landscape of our city, including nature trails and more passive recreational opportunities. Right now, we're working to try to get grants so that we can move forward with our Dasher Creek. And I don't know whether you guys have ever really paid attention to that property and that creek. That creek flows all the way to the Savannah River. And it is amazing. There was a study done. How many different types of birds were in there?
I think in 30 minutes, she saw about 17 species of birds.
Different birds. So we have that, and we cross over it every day in Rankin, and it's right across from the Napa, and we have no idea that that's there. And it's probably one of the prettiest things that if you get back in there to see. So we're trying to do something about that as well. So in addition, we're actively enhancing the quality of life for all residents starting now. This involves enhancing our public parks, recreational facilities, introducing new community events and initiatives, and fostering a city that's even more inclusive and welcoming to everyone. So this is the meat and potatoes of this meeting, okay? I want to talk about the things that we're currently doing. JC Park is now our Veterans Park, okay? It's a place where we honor those locally that sacrificed so that we can be free. It will also serve as a centerpiece of the city. So no more small Christmas trees, no more phone calls that says you need to get the blow up decorations off the side of the road. We're going to have a place that we can call our own. This park will be well manicured and will showcase our holidays by giving us an area for tree lighting and other various activities that families can attend. Another thing, you know, we kid ourselves and we think that we're 10, 12 miles away from the fourth largest port and it's not going to affect us. We think that we are going to let it bypass us and go away. It's not going to bypass us. We're right in the middle of it. It's going to happen. But the decisions that we make here in the future, the near future, are going to be to try to keep those areas in one spot. Because I can stand up here and say no warehouses and we can scream all that we want to. There's stuff that's already zoned out there. So it's going to happen. So what we're looking for is what do we get from that? What can the city gain? What can our citizens gain from that? Well, there's a few things. First, I want to say, you know, I want to offer a special thanks to Wilson Burns and his team at Greenland Developers. Nobody knows this, but these guys built a warehouse right outside of town, and everybody screams about the warehouse. But they donated 85 acres of property to the city for future state and have a recreation complex is what we're looking at with that 85 acres. This complex will not only boast multiple types of fields, but through countless negotiations by your council, possibly something very special in the works that will be discussed at a later date. A lot of big things happening. They have also donated land to build another fire station, which will serve us on that end of the city. So those are things that they do for us, obviously, because the property was owned. We're gonna have it. We're also gonna gain CID money off of it. I think it's $4 million. So we're gonna be able to utilize that money in that area, which we're gonna allow that money to hopefully build our recreation complex. And in that recreation complex, we want a gym. We want different type of fields. We want different type of recreation, not just baseball, not just football. Lacrosse is huge now. So we want to be able to bring all that into the city. And we don't want to give that to the county, okay? We also look forward to making new friends and help our new residents from South Korea feel welcome in our city as they travel many miles and leave loved ones to relocate and to become part of our society. I think it's important that we do that. We start seeing people trickle in, golf course scenic first. So on the weekends, when those guys wasn't working 16, 17 hours a day, they were at the golf course. And we started noticing, okay, there's 10 today. Now there's 30. So they are putting money into our community, okay? Progress is underway on 2 parks, each at different stages of development. Despite some delays, we're optimistic that Macomber Park, with its $750,000 renovation project, will be ready for public enjoyment in time for fall sports. It's been over 20 years, so I want you to think about this. It's been over 20 years since that park has really had upgrades, okay? We've come in, we know that there's money there. It does us no good. We're not a profit center of the city. Our job is to provide for the community, to take the money in and provide for the community. So it's one thing to sit here and say, oh, well, we're 8 million strong or we're 12 million strong. But if you're 8, 12 million strong and your recreation facility looks like crap, we really done nothing. You know what I mean? So these renovations span all 8 fields, including concession stands and restaurants. These renovations are poised to give our city something to be proud to call their own. I extend a warm invitation for you to experience this exciting addition to our vibrant city when renovations are completed later this summer. In addition, and I know maybe some of you didn't know this or you haven't been out there, but we opened up a $360,000 playground at Patriots Park. And this playground was started prior to a lot of us getting on. It took forever. Accountability was tough. Mr. Blackwell was a part of that. Michelle was a part of that. And they threatened, you know, our city manager was constantly getting berated over, like, when are you going to get this park open? And we could only do as much as what the contractors that was building the park would do. So, but now we put the pressure on, we pushed them, and now it's there. So, you know, and we've had overwhelming success at this park. When we opened it, you can drive out there anytime, and it's just packed full of kids, so it's great. We'll continue to improve on Patriots Park in the coming period by placing restrooms. I can't tell you how many years I went out there to the Y and different places, and there was a porta john out there. Okay, that's what we had for our people that was out playing tennis. You know, when the schools would use the tennis courts out there, that's what they use the restroom. So now, you know, this council has decided we're going to go full force into this playground, this recreational facility. So we're also exploring the potential for a splash pad. So while we're out there and our kids are enjoying the playground, we're looking at putting a splash pad out there and the library location on this site. So the library location we've already discussed. We're going to donate that property, and I think the county's building it. So, you know, and it was funny to find out because we see our old library sitting over and we think, oh, nobody's ever there. Our library was, go ahead, Jonathan, I think it was like one of the
Second biggest in the
yeah, and that includes like Wilmington Island and those areas. So think about how busy our library is. So anyway, we're gonna move forward with getting that library built up there, and I think ours will be the first one built. They've got two scheduled. Ours will be the first one built. So reality is, we're gonna have an area that's not beside the road like J.C. Park, to where we can have a library. We may have, well, we're gonna have a splash pad out there. We're gonna have a park out there. We've got tennis courts out. An area where families can go. We've got grills out there. We've got tables out there. So, and they're using, by the way. So now let's dig into this. This is another one of our amenities, the golf course. When this team sitting beside me started our tournament, we had 60 members left. We had a closed grill. We had a not so great course, and we lacked management and control. And we were just going through the motions with it. We realized that the golf course manager was not a superintendent out the gate. So we established a separate superintendent and clubhouse manager. Even with the course going through separate superintendent and clubhouse manager, and all the things that we're doing, the major changes that's going on over there, we can now say that we've got over 120 members. So this is probably 3 months, 4 months into it. We now have over 120 members, people coming back. With over 60 signing up in the last few months. We realize our members are very important for the future success of this course, along with the neighborhood that our amenity is located in. For too long, the city has tried to cut memberships and separate the neighborhood. No more under this watch. We placed the grill out for bid. We received one bidder, which had a plan. A plan to invest money instead of using the city to shape their business. I'm happy to say that the Greenside Bar and Grill is thriving. We're getting paid. We're not asked to, hey, can y'all cut me half on the rent this month because we didn't make any money, which improves visibility for our course and continues to drive up ranks. We are looking at a few changes in the near future, possibly a pavilion that will allow us to have events and weddings on the property. And finally, a name change. As we feel a new and improved vision, we should move to distance ourselves from the past. Citizen Central. There's a sheet back there. I don't know if everybody's on that or not, but it's our new reporting portal. It's up and running, citywide updates, bill pay, and assortment of other functions that we haven't even fully implemented yet. But you should be able to go on there and sign up for a round of golf. So there's going to be a lot of things that happen with Citizen Central. And of course, it's updating us where we were getting that on the Facebook page, and if you can put this app on your phone. Another change that we've made, we've hired a great and respected firm to serve as our city attorney. We have revamped our city judicial system with a new and robust team. We didn't just come in and hire somebody. We brought people in and we tested them. So we wanted to make sure that Oliver Maynard was up to the task. We wanted to make sure we're doing everything that they were doing at the time, that they had time to take care of us. We found out that they did. We brought someone in to be our solicitor. We tried it out, didn't work. Now we have two, right? And so we have two brilliant solicitors that are doing what they need to do for the city now. We're starting a community engagement piece that will bring elected officials and staff to your neighborhoods and areas within the city once a month so we can discuss your issues and your work. We'll be going over everything from the number of calls by police and fire to public works to road safety and what we can do to improve your quality of living in your community. More to come on these in the very near future. I think we got one set up with, we'll start with picket fences and move from there. But the places that are not in an HOA or you're not in the neighborhood, we will define those areas and then we will have those meetings. So we're wanting to get out in front of a lot of things for that. We want to shift, this is probably all me. I don't know if anybody else even cares about this, but it drives me crazy. We want to shift our parades back to downtown. Okay? Nobody does their parade on a side street. and it's time for that to stop. And I know that we have some, you know, with our law enforcement, that we have some things now that we didn't have back then. But, I think the chief and I have talked about it, and our plan is to sit down and go, we can get enough law enforcement in here to be able to run that for you. Okay? So we'll make this happen instead of cutting off access to neighborhoods and amenities. Downtown should be shut down during these types of celebrations, with businesses and churches engaged in the event. Speaking of parades, we have one coming up June 22nd. And with new planners and new ideas, we look to make it bigger and better than ever. So if you know anyone that would like to put a float in, please reach out to our recreation director. But we're not going to stop doing the things that we've done because people want to pull it. Okay? We're going to move forward. In the face of these challenges, I'm heartened by the resilience and determination of our community. Time and time again, Raconians have come together to overcome adversity and build a bright future. Together, we have the power to shape the destiny of our city and leave a lasting legacy for generations to come. We're working hard for residents of Rankin by continuing to offer a city with no property tax. Through T-SPLOST funds, we continue to improve infrastructure. With our sales tax, we can manage our city's needs to operate at a high level. If I thought we wasn't operating at a high level, I would go in and say, hey, this is what we got to have, and I would be honest with you. Right now, we're able to operate at a high level, and through T-SPLOST, we're able to make all the adjustments that we need in the city. So we're good right now. I extend my gratitude to local law enforcement personnel in Rankin. We've received numerous commendations for both attendees and residents regarding the warmth and professionalism exhibited by our officers throughout the year. And we continue to be an example of what a law enforcement agency should be as we enhance support for each and every member of their department. This year, the Rankin Police Department took strides toward enhancing integrity and transparency. Upgrades were made to our car camera systems, body cameras were procured, aligning with our commitment to fostering transparency, safeguarding officers, and bolstering evidence collection. One of the things that I wanted to add when I heard about this was flock cameras. So no one comes into our city with warrants or to steal without being tracked down and being held accountable. We had something happen not too long ago, and I just wanted to hit on the top of this. Flock cameras, we didn't have any, correct? But that particular theft followed that person all the way to South Carolina. And they were able to make the arrest on that person because of these flock cameras. Okay, so very important that we have them for people that want to come in here with warrants and problems and create issues, and then they're traceable throughout the state, right? Outside the state. Ensuring the safety of Rankin residents remain paramount. This year, the Rankin Fire Department implemented significant measures to bolster public safety. We required additional necessary personal protective equipment for the entire department. The Rankin Fire Department also received its new ISO rating of a 2. Now, you say, well, it's a 2, what does that mean to me? It impacts each and every property in the city in a positive way through reduction of your homeowner's insurance premiums. So if we didn't have that rating, then, your homeowner's insurance will go up. Thanks to staffing and response time throughout the city and the paperwork that they do, Chief Reed is able to stand on that mountain. In addition to all the previous mentioned achievements, we have also been fortunate enough to move forward on long-standing and dormant projects. The most imperative of these projects is what we refer to as picket fences. For reasons that do not warrant discussion, the residents of this neighborhood require secondary means of access during times when there may be a train stop at their entrance. I'm proud to say that we are moving forward on creating an emergency means of access in this neighborhood that will be open during such times. It has required a lot of cooperation from various entities, property owners, the city manager, our city engineer, over the last several months. But I assure each and every one of you that we will be moving dirt to create this path within the next several months. And if the train blocks the entrance again, it's gonna be sooner than that, because we're gonna cut the lot and we're coming through, okay? And they're aware of that. So we will keep the public abreast of the progress throughout this long overdue project. Funding for this project was already allocated through the previously mentioned T-SPLOST funding. As we look to the future, let us do so with optimism and resolve. Let us seize the opportunities that lie ahead and confront challenges with courage and determination. Together, we can build Rankin that is prosperous, inclusive, and sustainable. A city we can all be proud to call home. Not even a full 6 months in office, this council stands before you, transparent and willing to move at a pace never before seen. Friends, our brightest moments lie ahead. As we stand united, we share a vision unlike any we've had in years. City Council and I are eager to spearhead this journey. You've been briefed on our strategies. Now I pose this question: how will you contribute to turning them into tangible achievements? The momentum is building. Are you prepared to join us on this journey?
Okay.
So everybody, there's a sheet there that says, Rankin project and task list. I don't know whether you picked that up, but, Damon, Ron and I, when we were talking, when we first started running, we were like, let's go back to the old whiteboard to hold elected officials, responsible and, accountable for what we were doing. So it's easy to go out and tell you guys, this is what we're gonna do, and then you get elected and you just fall back into that, well, we can wait on it. 4 years is really fast, okay? So what we decided to do is we put a whiteboard up, and of course it was in the way of everybody. And then Jonathan found out that city council was coming to him with so much, we had no room left on the whiteboard. So now we put two monitors, up at council chambers, and we're gonna have this played, during council meetings so everybody can hold us accountable to some of the things that we're doing. All of the things that I discussed in here, we are actually in different stages. So anytime you guys want to see that, it's going to be available. Jonathan, is there somewhere else that it's going to be available?
It will. We're waiting until after tonight. This is a SharePoint file. It will be posted to our Facebook page as a link, as well as to our website. We'll send out when it's ready. We'll send out a notification to the Citizen Central app to let everybody know where to go. It'll be updated in real time. You'll be able to download it. Obviously, you won't be able to change it, but anytime staff makes an update to it, it's updated in real time too. So it'll be.
So I probably talked about 10 things. I can't tell you how many things are up there, but it's a lot. And but they're in different stages, and we're putting a lot of pressure. This council is putting a lot of pressure on staff to produce these things. So if you happen to be reading through this and you have a question or anything like that, feel free to shoot us an email and somebody will respond to that. So just attach the city manager on that. And then, like I said, he can respond or we can respond or whatever. But we want to make sure that we're as transparent as we can be with everything that we do. Mm-hmm.
Tell them that, like, if they have a pothole or a water issue, they can go to Citizen Central.
Yes. So complaints, if there's a pothole, like you said, if there's a water leak or something like that, you guys can go on Citizen Central. If you have that app downloaded, you can go on there and you can list it, tell exactly where it's at and what's going on, and it has a tracking system. So it escalates as days go by. So that's important, because if someone doesn't respond to it, then, a few days later, it gets to Jonathan. And then Jonathan knows that, hey, he's got to respond or it's going to escalate some more. So it's a really good system. But like I said, you got to use it. People need to, I think on it has a QR code.
Yeah, the QR code works whether you have an Android or an Apple. So scan it, download it, it's free. You get to do all that. You get the text notifications. We try to promote this meeting through it as well, and letting everybody know that this was happening, events, book a tea time, do the UDO survey, open records request, council agendas, register your kids for recreation sports. All of that can be done through that. So we're trying to, we're doing a good job of trying to utilize it, but there's so much more we're about to do. So I would encourage everybody to take a part of it.
Yeah, so this form back there, if you'll grab it, it's great, it's easy. But I think that's gonna be an important way, because we also talk about weather. We're
Yes,
sending out, weather updates and things like that. So, at least you have the opportunity.
that's a great point. Hurricane season is coming. It started 2 days ago. So hopefully we don't need it, but that will be a way we will push out notifications should something happen.
I do see something on here that, I wanted to bring up, because I've had some people come to me and talk about the street sweeper. People think the street sweeper is just for, appearance. Street sweeping is for drainage, and that's a lot of its purpose. So, we're going to get better. I know, Brandy said something the other day about schedules. We want to know when it's in a certain place. So, those are little things that we're pushing. We've got a brand new one being delivered in August of 2024, and we're going to make sure that we get a schedule, so okay? There was another thing I wanted to add. We currently have a new code enforcement. The first time we've ever had it. So in the past, it's just been our building inspector and police officer or whatever we had to go out. Now we have a code enforcement officer for the first time. And, we're going to try to make things look better in our city. So, all those things being said, we're just going to keep on keeping on. Know that we're here to work for you. That's all I got.
And before everybody leaves, I know we're concluding, please grab some food, some drinks, some candy, some sweets for the kids, everybody. Grab something to go, please, and it will go to waste, or go to our firefighter.
Blue's probably saying that.
Great thing. We appreciate everybody coming. Thank you all so much. You don't feel like you have to rush out. Feel free to mingle. We're going to start. Thank you all.
That's so.